We're talking video games that have been optioned, announced, and we're doing it right now.
Video games, part 2.
Woo!
Yeah.
We're back. Ryan's here, apparently. And we're talking about true firsts in comics. And what is that, Russ?
This is a fantastic list brought to us by our friends over at CBSI comicbookinvest.com. Topher gets this fantastic list out every week. And you know what? We decided to pick some of our favorite video games. And last week, we were talking about video games and first appearance that we liked. This one, we're talking about first appearance of video games and comic books that have been either optioned for movies or are going to be made into movies. So a lot of really cool stuff here that you may care about.
All right, coming out on the list at number 1 is a really cool game. And before I talk about it, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We make a lot of comic book content, and we love to have you along for the ride. We have one of Joe Rogan's favorite video games. We got Doom making the list. Do you remember playing Doom? I love that game.
I do, and actually a few months ago, I don't know how well you guys remember playing this game, but I do remember playing Doom and killing the hell out of some baddies. It was awesome.
Right. Doom.
BFG. Hotkey
Oh, that's
5.
right. BFG, yeah, dude, that was great. I remember that whole logo. All right,
Totally.
Doom number 1. It's a comic book, first appearance and published work. The movie is announced.
Am I the only one that played the modern Doom, the remake from a few years ago?
No, you know what?
Scary, man.
The game was gnarly, dude.
There was a Black Friday sale on Xbox Gold, and I bought a copy of that, and Philip and I went around, my son, and I killed him really well for about 3 rounds, and then he learned the map and just fragged me for the rest of it. And I do not play FPS with my son anymore because, my God, he is good.
It is a very solid game, and I'm very glad it was made. I hope this movie is better than the last Doom film that was released.
Oh, you didn't like that movie? I thought it was fun,
I saw that in the
man.
theaters with my father and my brother. I did not enjoy myself, but I have extremely high,
That's
high
unfortunate.
standards.
I am excited about this next one here because we got Duke Nukem coming on the list. We have a movie that is in development, and it's being titled Duke Nukem Forever. And as far as Duke Nukem Forever goes, that game was terrible. But Duke Nukem was such a great game. The 3D game, I remember playing that. It was like one of my first PC games. I love that game.
Well, they had that one Duke Nukem that was just in development hell forever.
That's
It's
this
just-
one.
That's
Forever.
forever.
That's forever. It developed forever.
It took them
Yeah,
forever.
for like
it came
30
out, it was trash.
years. Yes, absolutely. And I always thought that Duke Nukem ripped off Dynamite Duke because Dynamite Duke was actually a coin-op game in like actual stand-up arcades. And I used to sneak out late at night when I was to the bowling alley that
the
apparently
library to
didn't
do
card,
homework.
right, to go and steal cigarettes from people at the bowling alley and just steal quarters. And I would go down, and that was one of the games I played at the arcade. And when Duke Nukem came out, I'm like, oh, this seems a lot like this Dynamite Duke game. I think they may have stolen something, but I did like Duke Nukem. Again, some super old school FPS there, man.
All right. They had Duke Nukem Forever. There was yeah, I know, right? Balls of Steel edition. It came with the comic book. It's like it was the special edition that came with a bunch of fun stuff.
Oh my God.
The Balls of Steel. This guy don't mess around. So look out for that comic book here. Do we have another kind of strange movie adaptation here? We have 2 different films being optioned. Oasis Films has optioned Missile Command. That's one of them. It's a random kind of game. I think this is gonna be something more like an homage to Missile Command. It's gonna be a movie called Missile Command, but it's gonna actually have a different story. But we also have Centipede. Do you remember that game?
I do, and both of these were optioned a few years ago, and they've been in development limbo. Again, one of those that the concept is really cool. These are like Atari old school games. If it's going to happen, we don't know. I mean, what? They made that Rampage video game with,
Actually,
with The Rock.
it hit too. The movie didn't hit, but the movie was made.
No, right.
So,
No,
like-
they actually made it, but it wasn't, I'm running around as Lizzie and I'm knocking the side of the buildings.
No.
It's The Rock made friends with a big gorilla King Kongy type thing, and it was...
It's an adaptation, loosely based around.
It's like
the
how they made a
game.
movie about Battleship.
Yeah.
You know?
No, for real.
Milton
Yeah,
Bradley's
so-
Battleship as a movie.
Yeah, and I feel like it goes without saying that, like, some of these books, I mean, as far as spec books go, they're probably not, like, ones you're going to make a ton of money off of if you're speccing. But if you're a fan of the games, that's more of why we're making this, because I'm not going to say that, Centipede is one that you should be picking up, because he did make a comic book appearance in 1983, Centipede
If
number
you're
one.
the number 1 Centipede fan in the world, that might be some information you want to know. That's cool to know. 1983.
Billy Mitchell is probably at home crying over his lost records, reading his near mint copy of Centipede #1 right now.
Oh my gosh. All right. We have Borderlands making the list. This right here is a fun one because there is a film that's put into place, and the film has a writer, and it's said to be in development. I never really played the game. I tried. I couldn't get into it.
Same.
I loved it, and I got into it, and I got all the DLC, and I would run around and play the legendaries, and it was just, the first one ended poorly, but I really, really liked the sequels. The one that I didn't like is the prequel. There was a prequel that came out. There was just a level that was way too difficult, and I just didn't have the patience to fix it. But just story-wise, it was cool. Development-wise, it was cool. I like the randomness of being able to pick up your weapons, and you just could kind of find the better one and customize them. But yeah, very, very cool. First appearance in Borderlands Origins 1, which is a GameStop exclusive. Have we seen GameStop exclusives on the Hot 10 list recently, Tom? Oh, yeah, that Batman thing.
Yeah, well, not only do we have a GameStop exclusive, but this had multiple covers as well. And there is one that is extra rare because it was a reward point exclusive. So keep an eye out for that copy. But we have first appearance of Borderlands in Origins #1.
Nice.
All
I used
right.
to work at GameStop. I had a bunch of reward points. It was pretty fun. I never would have cashed them in on a comic book, though.
Oh, man, you should have, because those comics are spiking.
Yeah, they're worth way more than that backpack, bookmark, or eraser
keychain,
you could have gotten.
whatever, yeah.
When did you work at GameStop?
I worked at GameStop in 2011 during the Skyrim era. So I had my fun, but it was a sales job, and I do not excel in sales, as this guy can tell you, because, we worked at the bank, and that's a whole different
I
story.
understand. My brother worked at GameStop before then, but yeah, very, very cool.
The next book on this list here is one of my favorites from when I was a kid, House of the Dead. I love those stand-up, you hold the gun, shoot the screen types of games. But the take-home systems, like when you could buy the controller to plug into your PlayStation, to plug into your Xbox, the Wii adapter, they never worked well.
So I actually found the way to fix this, because for Dreamcast, they actually released a version of this called Typing of the Dead. And there was a keyboard adapter that plugged into your controller, and you had to type words to kill the zombies. Oh, wow. So House of the Dead actually was ported into Typing of the Dead. So it doesn't matter how well your screen reads it, you would be typing words quickly.
That
I swear to God,
so
it's
much
real,
fun.
right?
I believe you, man.
And again, I used to play Mavis Bacon Teaches Typing back in the day on PC.
gosh.
Oh my God.
That game was dope.
I know.
That's the only reason I could type.
Right, because you actually did your typing. But yes, this was the next logical extension of I am learning how to type on my keypad, and I get to kill zombies at the same time.
Oh, it was a controller keypad?
Totally.
It wasn't even a keyboard?
No. It was like a plug-in adapter to your. So you had your D-pad and then you had your keypad. It was awesome.
All right, look out for the first appearance of House of the Dead. There was a promo comic. It's pretty rare, but they're out there. And right now, it says that there's rumors. Okay, this is not. It's said that there was going to be a remake of this movie.
House of the Dead was a trash film. I don't remember if you saw that back in the day. That
Bad.
movie was bad.
But they want to redo it.
You love bad horror movies, so maybe it's your favorite.
No, but that was actually
Okay.
that wasn't. But the thing is, it's not really a horror movie.
It was a bunch of
kind
people
like,
standing in a flashing house, and the lights are going on and off, and they were spinning in circles, and
It wasn't any good.
it was
man.
not good.
It wasn't scary, but you know what? It had a comic book, and there's also I mentioned the Wii game. There was actually a House of the Dead Wii game that had a comic book that's actually super scarce. The Wii game was called Overkill, and yeah, if you look out for that pre-order game exclusive, that book is super scarce.
Wow.
For those House of the Dead fans. Next one on the list is one of my favorite PlayStation 4 games that came out when really right around. Oh my, is it PlayStation 3? Oh,
Well, it's been out. It came out on PlayStation 4 too, but
oh my gosh, I
it's
played
originally
it.
PS3.
Oh, it was like right during that transition, wasn't it?
2013.
Oh my goodness, PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4. I played on PlayStation 4. We have Last of Us. I love that game. I really think it would be a cool movie. And if they did it, holy smokes, they may be able to bring the zombie craze back.
I am of the opinion, side note, that game was so good that I think a movie would be inferior to the game. I think that game was so cinematic and beautifully made that a movie, I don't know if it'd be able to capture the same feeling.
All right. Well, Last of Us, it says here that the status is in development, but hasn't had any movement in some time. But wishful thinking. First appearance is #1, Last of Us, and there is also a Naughty Dog variant. So both are comic books that are attainable. And if you're a fan of the game, you probably like the comic book too.
So in 2013, when this comic book came out, it was a very, very popular book. And right now we have Dark Souls and Bloodborne, which are two very popular video game comic books that are coming out. Regardless of what you think of the game, they're very popular comic books. But Last of Us is one of the first video game related comic books that I was watching and selling at the shop that was just selling out every single time. So very cool to see this showing up on this list, even if it is stuck in development limbo.
I have to end the list with some of my all-time favorite game franchises. I am a huge, huge horror fan, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
And my two favorite horror games, it always comes down to these two. We got Resident Evil
Okay.
and we got Silent Hill.
Ooh.
Resident Evil. This one's actually pretty cool because Resident Evil made their first comic book appearance in a free comic book by Marvel. It's a freebie, Resident Evil #1.
It's crazy moving from Umbrella Academy to Umbrella Corporation.
Absolutely.
Right?
There's been so many umbrellas on these lists.
It's a lot.
Hopefully we get another Resident Evil franchise after this one concludes, because I think we're going to be ending this one pretty soon. I don't think Mila Jovovich is going to be doing it anymore.
No, but I mean, if they're making Resident Evil 9, 10, and 11 for video games, I'm sure there's room for more movies.
The
Well,
most recent one was VR. I've got that game. That game was terrifying.
very scary.
Awesome.
It was really, really cool.
All right. And then we have Silent Hill, which I actually really like the movie takes of the game. We have Silent Hill #1, the IDW Dying Inside #1 edition. This is the
Nice.
first appearance there. And shout out to the extremely rare mini comic called White Hunter, which was only available on the Japanese soundtrack for Silent Hill Origins. Super deep cut. But if you want to know about some scarce comic book appearances, and you're a Silent Hill fan, you're a horror fan, you're a foreign comic fan, this is one you got to be keeping an eye out for.
I am definitely going to be searching for this when I'm in Japan next week.
I'm super stoked. You got to keep an eye out for. Dude, get the soundtrack.
Yeah, no, totally. Like, this is something
Oh,
that I need to find a place that would have
please
this
do.
where I'm at. I'm going to
Okay.
be staying in Shibuya, so I'll find some stores.
Thank you so much for joining us today, comic book community. Thank you, Ryan, for joining the table.
Thanks, bud.
Had a lot of fun. Thank you so much to comicbookinvest.com, CBSI.
Beautiful. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below. Let us know what you think of these videos. Let us know what you think of Ryan. We really, really enjoyed having him here as an extra guest this week.
I am pretty cool.
I know you super, super are. And as always, geek responsibly.
Enough?
Said. Thanks so much for watching the video. Really appreciate it. I want to give a quick little reminder. We are currently taking enrollment for the April mystery mail call. The link is in the bio to sign up to reserve your box. We're blowing them out every month, and you don't want to miss out. Join the community. Have some fun. Get some comics.